Hey, I hope you had a good weekend. Today is Monday, and I'm going to have to look at the calendar. I don't even know what day it is. The 27th of April. This is the last week of April. And we are going to do lesson 21, sessions 3, 4, and 5 today because it won't take us very long to do that. So I'm on page 525. Mine is a copy, and I didn't have a colored copy, so it might look different than yours because it's not blue, but yours is blue. The first question is, look around your classroom, choose a large object to measure, such as your teacher's desk, a rug, a whiteboard, or a bookshelf. Measure the length of the item you choose. How long is the item to the nearest centimeter? And what I did, I do not have a, if you look down here, it says a meter stick. That's like a yardstick, but in meters, and I don't have one of those. So I just used my ruler and measured my desk. And it came up to 150 centimeters. Okay, so now let's see what it wants us to do next. It says, now look around your classroom. Choose a large object to measure, such as, okay, I already did that. A rug, a whiteboard, or a bookshelf. Measure the length of the item you choose. How long is the item to the nearest centimeter? So it was, my desk was 150 centimeters. Now it says you can use a meter stick to find the length. So here's an example of a meter stick on your page 100 or 526. See how it's kind of like a yardstick, but it goes from 0 to 100 centimeters. Instead of on a yardstick, it goes from a 0 to 36 inches. A meter stick has 100 centimeters in it. And so what they did is they measured part of it. Did it fit all along the whole length of the whiteboard? No, so then they just stuck their finger or made a mark and then stuck the yardstick back to the edge and measured it again. And so we know that it's 180 centimeters long. Okay, it also says you can use a measuring tape to find the length. My measuring tape doesn't have centimeters on it. It's inches. And so I didn't use my measuring tape. But this one did. This one had, it was a meter measuring tape, so that one worked on that one. Okay, now it says, look at the first, measure it. Why can you add 180 to find a total length of the whiteboard in centimeters? Why can you add that together? Why is that what they did? Well, because we know that one whole meter stick is 100 centimeters, and then the board goes to 80 centimeters. So it was 100 plus 80. Okay, longer objects can be measured in meters. 1 meter is the same as 100 centimeters. Just like we talked about on this meter stick. 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. So how long is a whiteboard to the nearest meter? So these are meter sticks, so there's 1 meter, 2 meters. Is it closer to 1 meter or 2 meters? 2 meters. Why do you think it would be easier to measure this with a meter stick rather than centimeters? Or measuring tape? Because they're longer than a centimeter stick, aren't they? Actually, it's saying with the whiteboard rather than a meter stick. I showed you why, because this will go longer. than a meter stick. So you wouldn't have to break it up like in the picture that we were just looking at. Okay, now it says reflect. Look back at your try it strategies by classmates and measure it. Which models or strategies did you like best? If you had to choose, would you want to use a measuring tape like this? Or would you want to do centimeters or meters? I would choose a measuring tape like this because it would take just one step. Okay, now it wants us on page 528, wants us to circle the objects that are easier to measure with a centimeter ruler. Okay, so a centimeter ruler would be this. So, or you can envision the meter stick, which is similar to the yardstick, which would be 100 centimeters. So it would be like 3 of these almost, or a little more than 3 of these. Okay, so a hot dog we would want to use centimeters. A jump rope, I would say that would be easier with a meter stick. A pencil would be a ruler. Your height probably is a meter stick or a measuring tape. And this book would be about easier with a ruler. Okay, what is the length of the key to the nearest centimeter? We don't even need a ruler. They have a ruler for us. Is it closer to 5 or 6? 5. Is it exact? No. It says nearest centimeter. Okay, what is the length of the ribbon to the nearest meter? This is a meter stick. How many meters is it closest to? 1 meter. Okay, so that was session 3. When we get done with our lesson, you're going to come back and you're going to do page 529 and 530 by yourselves. So just set those papers aside for now, and we're going to continue on to session 4. So go to page 531. It says, Dawson bought a rolling pin. What is the length of the rolling pin to the nearest foot? Okay, now they're using a yardstick. What is it closest to? It's closest to 1 foot. See the 1 foot mark right here? So we're just going to write 1 foot. Okay, now it says use a ruler. What is the length of the eraser to the nearest inch? Okay, we have centimeters and we have inches. It wants inches. And it is closest to 2 inches. It's closer to 2 than 1, isn't it? I'm going to move that up. Let's see. So 2 inches. Okay, think about the lengths of the actual objects. Draw lines to match each object with the best tool for measuring it. Okay, are we going to use a measuring tape or a centimeter ruler for the watch? A ruler and a measuring tape would go to the car. Okay, what is the length of the wire to the nearest foot? Again, the nearest foot. We have 1 foot and 2 feet, and 3 foot would be clear down here. I would say it's closest to 2 feet. But Kyle chose D as the answer. Is it closer to 2 feet or 3 feet? Kyle might have thought that because the length was greater than 2 feet, it was about 3 feet. It doesn't matter if it's greater than. You still want to go back to the closest foot. It's 2. Okay. That was easy enough, easy peasy. Okay, these are some more pages you get to do by yourself. Page 533 and 534. Go ahead and set those to the side. You're going to do those in just a minute. But right now I want to finish session 5. It says solve the problems. Lee wants to measure the length of her bike in feet. Which tools could she use? If she's wanting to do feet, she could use what goes along with feet when you think of a foot, yardstick. Inches. And a yardstick is in inches and feet. A meter stick is in centimeters and meters, so we don't want that. We could do a measuring tape. A centimeter ruler, no, because it doesn't correlate with the feet. Okay, what is the length of the worm to the nearest inch? It wants us to do inches. So that would be, oh, let's see. Is it closer to 2 or 3 inches? It's right almost to the half. Do you see that? So it's going to be closer to 2 inches. Okay, Ruby measures each line to the nearest centimeter. She writes the length of each line after it. Did she measure it correctly? Choose yes or no. So now we're going to measure these lines and see if she did it correctly. Is this closest to 5 or 6? It's pretty tough, but I'd say it's closer to 6. So no, she didn't measure it right. What about this one? 3. Oh yeah, that one looks right. Yes, she did that one right. This one, 2 centimeters. Yes, she did that one right. And 4 centimeters. Yes. Okay, so that was our lessons for the day. Tomorrow you'll take a quiz on this, but for today, go ahead and finish pages 533, 534, 529, and 530. They shouldn't take you very long at all. So get that done, and that will prepare you for the quiz that we have tomorrow.